Hi, it's Karen, and today I want to talk to you about what it really takes to continue the lifestyle that you've been accustomed to. And this is for all of the executive coaches out there, coaches who have come from the corporate world, who've been leaders and are now in your own business. And believe me, I know about this because I did the same thing too. I'm Karen Capello. I support external coaches in organizations who want to grow their businesses with ease and joy. And the clients who get the best results from me are those who have come from the corporate world, have been some type of leader, manager, VP, CEOs, and they've been at it for a while. You know, you've been at your coaching business maybe for a year or two, and you've gotten some traction and you want to get even more, and you want to work in that corporate world in a different role. And so I'm going to ask you a few questions, and if they're a yes for you, if you're listening live or even if you're listening to the replay, just type yes in the comments. So if I could show you what it really takes to replace that corporate income that you've been accustomed to in your own coaching business, and do it with ease and joy, would you like to know that? If so, type a yes in the comments. If I shared strategies that could help you make this happen with very few detours and completely aligned with who you really are on your own terms, would you like to know that? If so, type yes. And then if you knew some really simple and powerful techniques that would get you into the doors of companies, because it is different when you're on the outside versus the inside, and the companies that you really want to work with, would you want to learn those? If yes, type yes. Okay, so before I go into the lessons, if you've typed a lot of yeses, you're in the right place. Or if any of those are yeses, you're in the right place. And I want to share why I'm so passionate about this with you. So before I came into coaching, I was in the estate planning business. And actually, I had been a professor at a college with both graduate and undergraduate teaching. I had been president of a semiconductor manufacturing company, and I had been an estate and financial planner. And I kind of say I ruined my resume a bit, so I had to bring it all together in coaching. And coaching did bring it all together for me. So I was working in the estate planning field right before coaching, and I was working literally 60 to 70 hours in a week. I can't even imagine it now, but I know it's true because I was counting them. And I was exhausted, even though I was very successful. Maybe you can relate to that. So all I wanted was to work less hours, which obviously wasn't going to be hard to do. I wanted to wake up without an alarm, because in those days our alarm clocks were very blaring. They would go bat, 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 and we'd have to get up and jump up and get all dressed up. And that was the other thing. I wanted to be able to wear comfy clothing because we were all dressed up all of the time. And that was all I wanted, to be able to really enjoy my life. And all of this I wanted to do while being able to afford the lifestyle that I had already built up. I wanted that lifestyle that I have been accustomed to without all the hard work and drama. So I'm happy to tell you that it's possible. I've done it. I'm kind of the after picture here for you. I have helped coaches and leaders just like you in the corporate world to have a much more gentle lifestyle, one where you can take some time off in the middle of the day to go to the spa or play golf or do whatever you like to do. And it's completely possible. And it's really great on the other side. So in order to be successful at this and to have this kind of a lifestyle, what does it take? So I want to say the first thing you need to do is you need to have a system in place of landing your perfect clients, corporate clients, business clients. You've been in that world. You have so much credibility. And actually being outside an organization and helping them with what's going on internally is much easier than being inside that organization. The work is much easier. Getting the contracts is a little bit more difficult, I will say. And so we need to have a system in place to do that. When you have a system in place to get corporate contracts and business clients, you can work with any kind of small businesses. You have the confidence that you're on the right track. You know that your business is going to be viable, profitable. It's only a matter of implementing the system. So this is why a system is so important. When you don't have a system in place, you may keep trying different things, and some of them will work and some of them won't, but it'll be a trial and error. And what I've seen with some coaches is that eventually they're going to get there, but along the way, their confidence erodes a bit. Things are a little bit iffy. They are hesitant, thinking, did I do the right thing? Am I on the right path? So when you have that system, the hesitancy is gone, which is so nice. And so we're going to go over 3 strategies that are going to definitely get you where you want to go. They're going to get you the clients and the contracts that you want. They're proven. And once these strategies are in place, then, and you follow this plan, then you're going to have that stable, viable, profitable business that's going to allow you the freedom to have the lifestyle that you want, but it's also going to fund that lifestyle too. All right, so let's go into these 3 different strategies, these 3 top strategies that are going to help you. So the first strategy, and I'm going to take, is you want to have a keystone of expertise, something that you're known for, something that when people talk about you is going to come right to their mind. So the first thing we look at for your keystone of expertise is we look at your talents and your credibility. What have you done? What have you really enjoyed? Where is the credibility that you already have in the corporate world? Then we look at what lights you up. What do you enjoy doing? You know, some things that you have talents and credibility for may not be things that you really enjoy doing. So we want to look at what is it that you really enjoy. And then we want to look at a certain specialty or challenge that you solve in the corporate world and in the business world. So think about what is it that you really solve? Like, is it something like making someone a much better and inspiring leader of top tier leaders in organization? Is it helping managers to work with their teams and be more productive and more profitable? Is it helping okay, I'm thinking of the word, like scientists, I want to say, but is it helping the technical people who are promoted into leadership positions and don't really know how to do that and haven't been prepared? Is it helping millennials step into a bigger role in the organization? This is going to be a really big one. So what is that specialty that you have? What's the challenge that you solve? This is part of your keystone of expertise. And once you have this keystone, then you can start building your business out. And I see lots of coaches that start out without this keystone, and it makes it a little bit more difficult to be hired and to be known. And when you have this, it makes it really easy for you to be top of mind when things happen in the corporate world and the business world. And people say, we need somebody to help us with this. And then they're going to say, oh my gosh, that's so-and-so. That's you. So that's the first thing, is to have that expertise keystone in place as the foundation of your business. The second thing is you want to have your external communication figured out. So there are lots of things, lots of ways you can communicate, and you want to communicate that keystone of expertise to the right people to get their attention. You know, there's so much noise out there that you're competing against for the attention of people. There's just so many things that people can do in a day, and you want to get the attention of the people who really need you. So there's 2 types of external communication. There's both kind of the written and the spoken. So the written might include, you know, your bio. Like, how do you really put all of your expertise together in maybe a 1 sheet? And I can easily show you that. I have a beautiful bio template that I work with my clients on. Your website is written. What do you say in the copy of your website to really inspire your potential clients to work with you? What is needed there? You know, so many people have these brochure type websites, and they're kind of, I mean, they're fine. They're more of a resume type of thing, but you want to really grab the attention in all that noise on your website. And also your LinkedIn profile. You know, if you're working in the business world, the LinkedIn profile is a really important thing. And I'll give you one really quick tip. You can get a URL for your business, even if you get your own name at .com, and then point it to your LinkedIn profile while you're working on your website. So instead of having your website under construction, people can go right to your LinkedIn profile and see everything that you've already done. And there's so much that can be done with that. I could go into a whole entire masterclass training on all of this, but just know that in the written external communication, you want to have your bio, your website, and your LinkedIn profile all done up properly. And then what about the spoken communication? You want to be able to have your talking points of the clients you work with, of the challenges you solve, all of that at the ready, and so that you can chat with people about this in a very kind of an informal way to let them know what you do. The other thing is you need your networking introduction. You need that to be able to introduce yourself in ways that are very memorable to clients. And I have this amazing introduction that I have been using, my clients have been using, that works just beautifully. And it's super easy to do. So I take my clients through that. That again could be in a whole nother class. The other thing that's spoken is you may want to do some videos. And so what do you include in those videos, or maybe a webinar, a slide share? How do you structure that in a way that is really going to speak to the minds and hearts of your ideal clients? And, you know, I have a master's in higher education. I've been a teacher all my life. And there is a different way of structuring educational content that makes it more into a marketing content. And so taking all of that, all of who you are, and sharing it in that way is our second strategy, is to really get your external communication so aligned with you and your ideal clients, kind of that bridge between, that it's a no-brainer for you to get hired. And so let's look at our third strategy. And let me put that little one on. Okay, our third strategy is you need to have strategies for expansion. How do you expand your income? How do you expand your impact? Like really have those very systematic strategies. So one strategy is to have a launch offer. You know, to get into corporate, one of the easiest doors to get into is through the training door. So you could have some type of a capstone training that will just launch you right in. And once you get in, there are ways of taking that training. There are ways of designing that training so that you can get your next gig and your next and your next right after that, and go deeply into a company. As you probably know, to get your foot in the door, there's a lot of paperwork, there's a lot of energy, but once you're in the door, then it's easier for others, departments and other places to hire you within the same organization. So you wanna know what that very first launch capstone training might be that can get you in the door. You also want to have a relationship nurturing system in place. And this can be almost highly automated, but also extremely personal. And there are ways to do this that I've worked with my clients on. There was a study done last year that said that 73% of those who hired in the corporate arena did so by referral. They asked someone, who do you use? And so what you want to do is you want to be top of mind for all of your centers of influence and those who can refer you. And so we create a schedule for this. We have a values vault that has all types of information, articles, things that you can send to your potential clients that are going to add value to what they're doing every day. And with all of that, you can stay top of mind. And this can easily be automated, so it's not something that you need to do yourself, except for setting it up. And we do that together with my clients. You also need a new business consultation format. When you go in to speak with someone, what does that look like? What does that conversation look like? So that in the end, the person will say, yes, let's do this. How does that lead to a contract or another contract or a coaching engagement, whatever that is? So we build that out, your new business consultation format. We also have, for lack of a better term, a low-hanging fruit identification process. Most of my clients, we look at, where is the low-hanging fruit? Where are the relationships you already have? Where is the expertise you already have? Where are the clients that you can easily get in and help? And that's where we start. We start with the place of ease. So that's also part of these expansion strategies, the business expansion. And then the last strategy we use is coaching companies. A coaching business is comprised of many different streams of income. And one stream of income is to do some external coaching for coaching companies that are out there looking for clients already. And we can get you into some of those coaching companies quickly and easily. And especially if you've had some leadership positions in the corporate world, they're always looking for people, for coaches who are really strong in certain skills. So those are our strategies for business expansion and helping you create the streams of income that you deserve and desire. A quick story. One of my very favorite corporate coaching engagements that I have, and I've had corporate coaching engagements over the years, even though my core business is really helping coaches expand and grow their own businesses. I've worked in corporate, and I can tell you that some of these engagements are some of the most transformational and easiest engagements that I've worked on. So one of my favorite stories is I was a external coach for Ford Motor Company for a number of years. And I was referred there by a colleague. So there's that 73% of referrals. And I coached leaders in the executive leadership training program. And I did this all from my home office. I didn't have to fly over to Detroit, which was really nice. And I looked at the numbers, and I made just short of 6 figures in the years that I coached at Ford. And what happened was they ended up training some internal coaches, and they stopped the external coaching program. And so that's the only reason that I stopped. Otherwise, I probably would be doing it even today, because it was just such a joy and honor to coach those leaders that were in the trenches every day. And they were looking for transformation. They're not just looking to meet their goals. They're looking to become better leaders, to become more inspiring, to become someone that is promotable, and all kinds of things like this. So sometimes people say, well, in the corporate coaching world, isn't it just very goal-oriented, very number-oriented? It can be, but it can also be very transformational. And a quick story about a transformation that happened with one of my clients in corporate. This was a client from Ford, and we were talking about acknowledgement. And he was talking about how he really wanted to learn to acknowledge his team, because that wasn't something that he was used to doing. And he said to me, my father never acknowledged me. And then he said his father, my grandfather, was actually pretty cruel to my father. So I want to learn to acknowledge. And I knew he had a son, because we had, I knew about his family. And I said, look, what's possible for your son if you learn to acknowledge your team? And he got really quiet. I think he hit the mute button on his phone. And then all of a sudden he came back, and his voice was cracking, and he said, everything is possible. And then he started sending me pictures of his son and his family. And it was just so great. And it was such a beautiful breakthrough. And his team got acknowledged. His son got acknowledged. And it just went into every area of his life. So these kind of things happen all the time in corporate coaching. You can do transformation. In fact, you probably will do transformation. Okay, so I want to share that I'm going to do a more in-depth training. Let me put this other thing. Okay, I'm going to do more in-depth training about this. And the training is going to be about what it takes to make consistent $10,000 months as a corporate coach, an executive coach. And the reason I say this, the $10,000 month, is if you've been making six figures, let's just say around $100,000 in corporate, and probably maybe even a little bit more, you're going to need about 20% more in your own business to pay for the perks and some of the other things that you've gotten. So we're looking at creating these $10,000 plus months for you so that you can maintain the lifestyle that you're accustomed to with all the freedom of an entrepreneur. So I'm giving a more in-depth training on this, what it takes to make those consistent $10,000 months. And I'm doing that later this week in my Facebook group. And the Facebook group is Transition from Corporate to Coaching. And that's on this little bar on the bottom of the slide here. So if you want to be in that group, if you want to apply for that group, go on Facebook to Transition from Corporate to Coaching, or if you're on my Facebook page, you can just click on the banner on the top and apply to be in that group, and you'll get that training. And I do external trainings for that are really good for almost every coach, and then I do some very targeted and focused trainings for that Facebook group. So think about that. If you'd like to do that, we would love to have you. It is for people who have come from the corporate arena and who are working in business and corporate as a coach. All right, so here's my question to you. Is now the time to get all that business that you planned on? Is now the time to put these systems into place so that you're going to reach that goal of your six-figure year in 2019? Have you been at this for a year or two? Have you done some do-it-yourself, or have you been in some programs and you really want the help of someone who has been there, done that, and who takes kind of this boutique, bespoke approach to you, customizes everything to exactly what's going to work for you? That white glove concierge treatment. If you're interested in finding out if I can help you with that type of a program, then I'd love to chat with you. So contact me. Let me know. You can contact me with a question in the chat here, because sometimes we'll do the replay here. My team will be checking it out. You can get a hold of me through Facebook Messenger, through LinkedIn, through my website, in any way that you want. And what we'll do is we'll take 15 minutes together, and I'll let you know if I can help you build out your own program that is going to get you the clients and the impact and the income that you want to support the lifestyle that is yours. I would love to chat with you. My goal would be to get you to your 5-figure months, which gets you to your 6-figure business. So now's the time. I mean, we're going right into the new year. It's a perfect time to do this. So I would love to know if you have any takeaways also from this training, if there's any questions you have or insights that you've gotten that you want to share, just type those down in the chat window also. And I'm just very grateful to you for being a coach in the world, for being my colleague in coaching. I think the world needs all of us, and especially the business world. Things are really shifting. People spend, more than half of their waking hours, many more sometimes, in their business, at their job, in their work, and especially the leaders. And so we need to get out there and support them to be the best that they can be, and also to help with their self-care. So if you'd like to find out if I can help you, just say, I want a 15-minute conversation. Say yes, get a hold of me, and we'll talk. I'll ask you some questions and see if I can help you. All right, so that's our training for today. Looking forward to serving you more. I have more that I want to share. And again, thank you so much for being willing to be a coach in this world and for helping others in their transformation and growth. All right. Bye-bye for now.